Hey there, just a disclaimer. This video will be discussing ableism. Please do not harass or send hate to any creator featured or mentioned in this video. I do not support that, especially on a platform such as this. Please do not use this video to diagnose yourself. I believe in self-diagnosis, and self-diagnosis takes a very long and lengthy process. And it's not just something you find on like a BuzzFeed quiz. No, it takes a full-on mental evaluation of yourself. With that being said, let's get on with the video. Hey everyone, it's me, Alyssa, Liz, or Alcira, whichever you like. Today I'll be doing a rather different kind of video. Today we will be diving into the cesspool that is Tick Tock. I'm sure a lot of us know about Tick Tock, but I'll give you a short description if I can do that. Oh wait, before I forget, I mentioned this on my Twitter and Instagram, which you can find on my link tree down below, that I will be reading one of my poems in this video. That is still happening, and will be at the end of this video. If you like it and want to listen to it over and over again, I'll leave a timestamp in the description down below, so you don't have to swipe all the way to the end. It is a poem from my upcoming poetry book, Constellatoscope. And I can't say when it'll be coming out, but it'll be published and it'll be soon. So, what is Tick Tock? Tick Tock is a social media app where users can post videos from either 10 seconds to a full minute. There are a lot of different kinds of TikToks being made, from either informational to dancing videos. You can also get easily monetized on that site too. I do have a TikTok account, but I haven't used it in eons, so I don't expect you to come and find me there because I won't. So, why am I on TikTok? Well, I'm glad you asked. I'm here because, among other topics I can make a video on, and I want to investigate a certain trend that's been bothering me for a while, and that is faking disorders. Now, I'm not a professional, I'm not licensed, I'm not even an expert on mental health. I am, however, autistic, and I have ADD, and it really pisses me off when I see shit like this. Yes, I know, there are also people who do this on other platforms like YouTube, Instagram, whatever have you. They, especially YouTube, will have their own video in the future. I can't determine when that date will be. So, I will be reacting to a couple videos and giving my feedback as to why these kind of videos are harmful. Also, some of these TikToks have copyrighted music, so they will be muted. So I found this channel that had a plethora of these TikToks where people are faking disorders. I'll be linking the channel down below, but I won't be reacting to all of them. Just the ones that really drive me up the wall, or just provoke me to make a reaction about it. Also, I don't know the pronouns of any of these users, so I'm going with the general they/them. Let's get right into it.
Oh god! Moving on. Send me to Canada! I'll get her anyone. Wow! Eat the burrito. No. One for you! Woo! Mine. Nope.
Okay, so when I started diving into the faking disorders on TikTok trend, I hate saying that word. This was the one that kept popping up the most, and even though I don't have Tourette's or experience tics, I still want to say something about this. I'm tired of seeing this person pop up. And tics are not funny. It's not. I've met a few people who have Tourette's, and sometimes my head does twitch, but I'm not sure if that's a tic or not. I'm not sure. But tics are very painful, and people with Tourette's can even harm themselves accidentally or harm someone else by accident with their tics. You cannot control a tic, and it's not funny. Next up.
So I don't have to wear a mask.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I don't have to wear. Hello, I'm a content creator with Tourette syndrome, and I've seen this trend going around. And while y'all might think it's funny to play a nice little prank where you convince your friends and family that oh, I can't help it, I'm just yelling and making these movements because the vaccine, it's not funny, okay? People with Tourette's exist. We're not just wacky, zany characters that yell a lot and hit things and cuss. We're real people. And this disorder affects our everyday lives. And because of people like you who fake it for a joke, it creates a huge stigma, and people will come onto content creators' videos like mine who actually have tics and tell us we're faking it. You are creating a stigma, and you are part of the problem. You are actively harming a community. Fucking stop it.
Although this isn't another compilation I found, I purposely put it here because here we have an actual creator with Tourette's taking the stand. I commend those who speak out against this because it's infuriating to see folks faking disorders for views and shit. It's not funny. It's not cute. Also, see the way the tics are? They're not smiling or laughing. It's part of the nervous system. It's internal. You cannot fake that. And I love that they're pointing out the vaccine part. Because the amount of people who say my ADD and autism came from the vaccine, like, shut up. You're born autistic. You're born with ADD. You're born either neurodivergent or neurotypical. It can also be genetic as well.
I have God complex. I just think I'm so pretty. I know I shouldn't admit it, but my manic episode has gotten out of control again. My intrusive thoughts are telling me to dye my hair.
I love this one. I pretty much love content that's satirical, and this is one of them. The theatrics, the movements. Are you sure you're not a theater student?
What you know about rolling down in the deep when your brain goes numb? Nothing but a free when you feel nothing but pressure in slow motion. Yeah, how you feel like you're in love and opposite. What you know about now?
This one also kept popping up, and I'm just confused. More confused than insulted. I don't get the song or why so many songs have been played at once. I've been overwhelmed. I would have been overwhelmed, or I would have been singing one song out loud and yet another in my head. To me, this is how ADD works, at least for me. A lot of people say if you have ADD or ADHD, you're easily distracted, yet you can focus on certain tasks. Yes, at the same time. Distractions are good for me in terms of maintaining my focus and keeping my brain active. It makes me feel like it's a busy day at work and everyone's doing the tasks they need to do, and you're not everybody. Also, please don't take this as me comparing ADHD to DID. They're completely different and should not be compared to each other. I need distractions to keep myself busy, or else I'll be very burnt out and feel like a miserable piece of shit. If I try to do one task at a time, I feel like I don't have control of myself, or the burden of my other unfinished tasks will hang over me like a dangling knives. Speaking of which, okay, you clearly have not a single clue about what you're talking about. Holy shit. A lot of symptoms or traits you're associating with a certain mental illness or neurotype can apply to a lot of others too. For instance, mood swings, that's probably the most common symptom in not only mental illnesses or neurodiversity, but also certain chronic illnesses like PCOS, which I do have. Also, what they said about DID, dissociative identity disorder, that's probably the most offensive take you can ever make. I don't know too much about DID, but they made it sound like it was intentional. It's not. I've met very few people with DID, and it's like talking to completely different people in the same body, or host that is. People with DID have no control over dissociation. It just happens. And the host doesn't even know what's going on most of the time. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. I don't know too much about it, so I don't want to make assumptions. Also, if you're watching and you have DID and you believe I said something inaccurate about DID, please let me know in the comments or DM me to my socials. I'll have it listed in my description. I mean no offense or harm. I'm speaking from experience as a singlet who has met those with DID. It's astounding how many people are faking the ID, especially on TikTok. This is not some quirky thing, this is serious. To film yourself faking having another personality, especially when you switch right on the beat, are you not embarrassed? Okay, this is the reaction of someone who has ADHD to someone pretending to have ADHD. Spot the difference. Person on the right, I got so many words for you, honey. You're out here shaking your hands, smiling uncontrollably, and I'm here swaying my head and butt because actually I love this song. The way you're acting is the reason why people treat us like children. I'm 22, about to be 23 in December. I'm not a child, I'm a grown-ass adult who's autistic and have ADD, and I'll be damned if I let a person treat me like a fucking child. I also love the blind reaction because most of the time their own reaction calls out the person they're reacting to. If you want to fake a disorder, at least do your own research because by the time you're looking at what licensed professionals who are specialized in these areas of neurodiversity, you should be asking yourself, do I really want to fake a disorder for clout and piss off an entire group of people who live with this disorder I'm faking? Or do I make a complete fool of myself and show how ableist I am? Because that's what all these videos are about. Ableism. I feel this one. My ADHD fluctuates monthly. Like, some months they're light, other times they're heavy. So I always gotta have some protection just in case there's an emergency. If you couldn't tell, I'm joking, but this inspires me to make a video on how ADHD affects menstrual cycles because there is an association. Also, you're just in the kitchen. Unless you got some little stash in the pantry behind the kitchen or in your room, and you have your own kitchen there, huh?
You say OCD is a disease, I say it's a blessing.
OCD is not a blessing. This is not OCD. You just like doing that. OCD is not about being organized and everything being satisfying. In some cases, that's not the case at all. Example, with hoarding OCD. OCD is helpful sometimes. I'm always overly prepared. The thing is, if I'm not over-prepared, I think something bad will happen to me and or my family. I don't find it a blessing that I get panic attacks if I don't do my rituals. I don't find it a blessing that I have intrusive thoughts. Even people who have OCD that makes them organized don't find it a blessing because they think something bad will happen if they aren't organized. What you're doing is not OCD. You just like being organized.
I don't need to say anymore other than, let me just say that the extreme organization is not just with OCD. It's also applicable to those with ADHD, autistics, or not even associated with neurotype or mental illness. They're just people who really like organization.
Sweetie, honey, your father and I are out here and we are very concerned. You've been in there for 2 weeks. Please open the door. It's locked. I need you to call 911. I don't get the phone. Gabby, we love you very much. Please come outside. We just want to talk. Gabby. She's not responding. She's singing, I think. Gabby, please we're calling someone, Gabby. Get the phone, please. Gabby,
Oh, Miss Hannah, do I got a video in making for you.
A friendly reminder. If you are faking autism to seem fun, cool, cute, or quirky, then I have the legal obligation to whack you like a piñata.
I am with you, 1,000%. I haven't gone off an ableist in a long time, and I could definitely use some retribution for almost 20 years of mask and keeping my mouth shut, so I won't be seen as the irrational bitch who's too offended. Like, excuse me for actually giving a fuck about something I've been forced to keep quiet about. There's a lot of videos I've watched and reacted to, definitely part 2 coming up, but thank you all for staying with me so far and suffering through the secondhand embarrassment and suppressing our rage at the neurotypicals. And a special thank you to those calling out these folks because y'all took the words right out my mouth and you're standing up for your community. Again, do not send any hate or harassment to the people featured in this compilation. I condemn that. Now that we're towards the end of the video, how about a poem? This is Symphony of the Metal Ballad, and it's in my upcoming book, Constellatoscope. I'm still in the editing process, so if you have any feedback, I'm all ears. Please be constructive and not disparaging. I I put a lot of energy and thought into my craft. Now, without further ado, Symphony of the Mellow Ballad. When the serenity of the bard's song drips along the winter's fog, let it all be known the angels have reached the throne. Across oceans and plains, a strange voice with no restrain hums blissfully away to the echoes of yesterday. With lungs of iron, his voice scares off sirens, alerting the sleeping village of his incredible courage. It's an archaic tale taken from his forgotten people, passed down like apples off a tree folks gathered for his fables. Vernal sun reaches high noon, plunging the winter moon into her eternal slumber. And there goes the drummer. Hear the crowd chant excited cries to the band, and the vocalist waves to the upcoming raves. Just like the tale he told, he sung it so bold, so folks scream with their hearts, hoping they won't break apart. Guitarists played the winds that soared as high as mountains, serenading the creatures of the night with words of might. It's worth noting the songs are quite moving, from extreme octaves to instruments storming out of the blue. Yes, it's the old man's dream, 30 or so years to make this team, creating melodic symphonies resonating with harsh harmonies. He takes the liberty to celebrate this community, union of nature and the technological future. Band performs for Ballad, a finale that felt quite disconnected. A rather melodious elegy, another great tale with great energy. Rejoice in the music's beauty, for all to congregate in unity. Let's not forget, though, the words of the bard centuries ago. Strung on his lyre, like the guitarist play with fire. Echoing songs bird would sing all throughout the neighborhood. Finally, his celestial spirit feels what the bandmates sung on wheels, and every word written in the moment of a mind so unique and brilliant. Old bard listens with great surprise to the raging power that would rise from his young follower of many years, celebrates his performance with crystal tears. At last winter had returned, and the old bard had learned that life is not forever, like the ongoing weather. He wished not to leave, but his youth started to grieve, forgotten centuries of rest, and wandering from forest to forest. Fingers dance in mellow resonance against his former background, such dissonance, created with duality of eras, painting such an interesting canvas. Bard now old, once young, and vocalist now grown, once unsung, speak of the legend bestowed within the instrument. A song now known as the Symphony of the Mellow Ballad. I hope you all enjoyed that. Again, my name is Alyssa, Liz, or Alcia. If you want to keep in touch with me or even join my Discord server, all that is my link tree down below. In that case, I hope you have a wonderful day or night. Hey, stay hydrated, stay masked, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye!